Hello, everyone. Good afternoon, and welcome to Coaching Things Up. I am Coach Maan from Life Coach Philippines, and this is Coaching for Healthy Mindspace. So, the coaching conversation that we will have this afternoon is for individuals who are experiencing uncertainty and overwhelm in their lives because of, some negative and unhealthy thought patterns that they are battling in their minds. And it is my deep desire to help them break free from these thinking patterns through the renewing of their mind so that they can have full and abundant lives as they journey their calling. And I'd like to thank everyone who is watching me here live today. Please leave your digital footprint by letting me know where you are watching me from. Do also tag a family member or a friend who you think can join the discussion this afternoon, and feel free to share this video so that more people will be reached and more individuals can benefit from what I will be sharing in this session. And if you are watching this on a replay, please type in hashtag replay. So we are currently streaming live from the Facebook page of Life Coach Philippines and simultaneously on the YouTube channel of Coach A dash I dash Connect. So sorry for that. So that's YouTube channel Coach A I dash Connect. And if you are new to these platforms, please like, follow, and subscribe so you will be updated with other videos and other events and activities we have in Life Coach Philippines. So allow me to introduce myself. For those of you, this is probably the first time you've seen me. So I am again Coach Maan Lamorena. I am a certified co-actively co-create life coach. I am also a certified mental toughness coach, and I am a proud scholar of the 6 steps to six-figure public speaking training by Master Coach A. So I've been mentioning about this training for the past 3 weeks, if I'm not mistaken. And I'd like to share with you my fellow coaches, my fellow coaches who were part of this training. And if you are like us, who wants to overcome your fear of public speaking, then I'd like to invite you to join us in the 5 Minute Talk Club. This is a Facebook community. And, if this is something that you're interested about, do join us in this community so you can master also the 5 minute talk formula the fun way with us coaches here, and also with Master Coach A. So aside from being a life coach, I am also happily married, and I am a mother to a 4-year-old daughter. So that's me. And I am the woman behind this Facebook community, You Renewed. This is a community where I share thoughts and ideas on how we can overcome the negative thought patterns that we battle in our minds. And if this is something that you are interested to know more of, or something that you are passionate about, then do join my Facebook community. And if you also want to reach me, for anything, you want to have a conversation or want to connect with me, you may also reach me through my Facebook page. That's Coach Maan. And feel free to like and follow it as well. And I hope to connect with you one of these days. So as I go about our conversation this afternoon, I'd like to, I'd like to encourage you to share whatever insights or learnings that you will glean from our conversation, and share it with these hashtags, Pack My Bag Moment and hashtag Coaching Think Talk, so that the message, the learnings, the insights you will get this afternoon, other people may also benefit from them and will reach more people. And who knows, that insight that you shared in your timeline, it could already bring a life-changing moment for these people that will read them and will see them from your timeline. So there, those two hashtags, Pack My Bag Moment and hashtag Coaching Think Talk. And before I begin, I'd like to acknowledge personally those who are joining me this afternoon. Hello, fellow coaches, Coach Rizal, Coach Marife, and Coach C, Coach Candy. Thank you. Thank you for taking the time to be here. I hope that all of us will, it's going to be an interesting conversation, and all of us will have a beneficial time this afternoon. So, Um, let's proceed. Again, this is coaching for a healthy mind space, and today I want to share with you how we can conquer our self doubt so that we can live full and abundant lives by design. So, to start off, I'd like to pose this question to all of you who are listening. What image comes to your mind when you hear the words self doubt? Medyo, diba, like, medyo self-explanatory naman eh. Self-doubt, doubt on self. But what picture does it paint in your mind? What are the images or any, any visuals that goes to your mind when you hear those two words self-doubt? And I'd like to start by what comes to my mind when I hear this. So this is a perfect representation of what I imagine self-doubt would look like in a person. Diba? It's a picture of someone who's anxious, who's confused, someone who has a lot of thinking going on. Talagang yung minsan buhol-buhol na, 'di ba? Buhol-buhol, tapos paulit-ulit, paikot-ikot, napapaganyan na lang siya kasi too much to handle for her. And that's one picture of self-doubt. And this one is something that when I saw it, talagang parang na-encapsulate niya na, oo nga no, ganito din pala ang itsura ng self-doubt. And this is that. I apologize if the picture is a bit blurry, but it's an image of someone who has a lot of self-doubt and she's carrying it on her back and it has become a burden. And sometimes, ganyan ang self-doubt for us. It's become a burden. It's so heavy to carry that because it's so heavy, we're unable to move. We're stuck because all these thoughts, nobody loves me, I'm not worthy, I'm not qualified, I'm not good enough. It's all there in our mind. And it is such a heavy burden to carry. Diba? Such a heavy burden to carry. It's such a challenging thing to think of even. And that is true. That is really true of self doubt. But we'll go to that more later. Um, well, after I pictured this images, I came across this very apt quote. It's anonymous, but it says that self doubt is the anchor that keeps our ships from sailing. And di ba, like when you imagine a ship or a very big ship na talagang fully equipped with all the technology to make it strips fast, tapos with all the amenities, di ba? Parang ready ka na to go kung ikaw yung sumakay dun sa ship na yon. But because of self-doubt, naka-anchor pa din siya, hindi siya kagalaw. That no matter how high-tech or numerous the amenities and facilities of that ship is, because naka-anchor siya, it's unable to move, it goes nowhere. And sayang lang, nasasayang yung mga amenities and facilities, that could be used on that ship because it's anchored right where it is. And we've all been there, we've all experienced self-doubt at one point in our life. And sometimes when we experience this, we tend to question whether we are doing well, we are capable, we are unsure, especially when we are facing uncertainties that might come up in the daily lives or even as we grow older. Marami tayong mga tanong. And there are also probably sometimes when we ask ourselves, and I think many women can relate to this, ah, am I talented enough? Am I qualified? And am I pretty enough? Maganda ba ako? Di ba? Yan yung mga tanong natin with matching sad face talaga. And we experience self-doubt usually when we are about to make decisions. So of course, these are not the only times when we experience self-doubt, but many times it comes up when we are about to make big decisions, when we are about to make choices, or even when we are about to start something new in our lives. And we get that feeling, diba? When we're about to embark on something that is new to us, that's an unfamiliar territory, we start to have those thoughts that we're not good enough to do that, to handle that. And self-doubt occurs when we lack the confidence, or when we feel that we are incapable of doing things that we need to do, or that is required of us. And usually, sorry, um, usually, let me just get back to that slide. Okay, all right. Sorry about that. Okay, yes, there. Thank you. There. Now, usually, thank you for understanding. Usually, di ba, when we, again, I'm so sorry. Wait, I am technologically challenged as of today. So please bear with me again. Yan. Then I think this is where we ended. So there. So diba, usually it happens to us that you and we, we feel that we lack the confidence or that we're incapable to do new things kasi yun nga, may mga experiences that we are uncertain of, and usually these uncertainty are about things that we cannot control or things that we worry will not go according to plan. So doon pumapasok si self-doubt. Yung, kasi hindi natin alam kung anong mangyayari and saan siya. But, in reality, when you look at self-doubt in general, it can actually, there are times when it is good naman. It indicates that we understand that there are things that we need to improve on or that we need to prepare in order to do a better job. So that's usually what many would call a healthy self-doubt. And it puts us in a position wherein we question or challenge ourselves, but the response that we do is that we are in a humble position, and we tend to prepare more, and we really look at the situation in a different set of eyes na, these are the things that I need to do. So that's when it's a healthy kind of self-doubt. However, there is a time when the self-doubt that we experience, when it's persistent and it's really bordering on fear, it can usually affect our lives in a negative manner. And when that continues and it becomes a chronic state of self-doubt, then that's the time that it becomes unhealthy. Diba? Kasi ang nangyayari doon is whenever we question, we're basically standing in our own way. And we're not able to think clearly. We're not able to think objectively. And it's difficult for us to maintain enough motivation to move forward and do the things that we need to do. So, ang nangyayari doon, dahil patuloy na pagko-question, we're unable to move or we don't want to move because we're so scared to move. And that's when, we're not able to achieve our dreams, we're not able to move or even take a step forward. And that's when we don't grow because we're stuck. We remain where we are. And, we let opportunities pass by. We let our dreams go by. So that's when it becomes unhealthy. And there are a lot of reasons wherein we can experience self-doubt, especially the unhealthy ones. I'll just share a few of them here kasi marami pa siyang ibang reasons. But if you know, if you've experienced it and you think of a reason why self-doubt happens to you and it's not something that I mentioned, I encourage you, you're very welcome to share it in the comment section kasi who knows, the others who are listening or tuning in might learn from also your experience, and we'd really appreciate that. So the first one is that one common cause of self-doubt is our past experiences. Medyo given naman siya past experience, diba? It can have a huge impact on how we react to the situation in front of us, especially if we are about to make a big decision or embark on something new. Yung past experiences natin, it comes back to haunt us, so to speak. And lalo na if the past experience yielded a negative result or if it was more of a mistake. And then we remember that experience and we relate it to the current one that we are facing. And we already think na, okay, ganito yung nangyari before. Baka ganito rin mangyaring ngayon. So, wag na lang, diba? And past experiences can shake our beliefs in ourselves and in our capabilities. And, our thinking, our view of ourselves in the situation can become cloudy. And it becomes cloudy because we reference so much on the negative experience, the negative past experience. I'd like to highlight past kasi nangyari na siya noon. Hindi naman siya nangyayari ngayon. And because we reference to the past experience so much, of course, na-highlight sa utak natin what went wrong. And because it is what is highlighted in our minds, then it's the only thing that's staying in our mind, and it's the only thing we're thinking of. Then obviously, our decisions, our assessment of the current situation is colored by that highlighted moment in our minds, and all because the past experience was too big or too it affected us so much, too influential for us. Kaya dumadating siya sa current situation natin, and it causes us to doubt ourselves. Now, another thing is our childhood upbringing. Of course, our upbringing plays a big role in shaping our habits and personalities, especially if you were, for example, raised by parents, or you grew up in an environment that constantly told you that you were not good enough, or that you always have to prove your capabilities or worth for them to value you. So medyo malaking factor din yan sa atin. Or also, it can be that you were schooled or you were nurtured in a school that judged students heavily on their grades, di ba? Lalo na yung very traditional schools and form of education, talagang doon tayo sa grades. Then because of that, those experiences, then it could also be a reason that we have already internalized the habit of questioning ourselves and our capabilities. So that's also another cause. Another thing would be comparison. So very common to di ba? Because it's not unnatural for us to compare ourselves with others. We live in a very competitive world and culture. And because of this, we tend to easily compare our work performance with our colleagues or our friends. Minsan nga, even with our family members, diba? And now also with the rise and popularity of social media and the overwhelming posts that reflect a certain lifestyle or look, diba? Lalo na ngayon, uso na ang content curation that we see in social media. Then the more it becomes easy for us to envy the lives of others and think that we are not doing as well as they are. And because we are not doing as well as they are, then that causes us to doubt ourselves, diba? And the thing is, when we start to compare ourselves, we really get drowned by the thoughts that we lack something. And when we entertain those thoughts, of course, we lose confidence in ourselves, and we begin to think that we are ill-equipped and believe that we don't have enough, and then yun na, tuloy-tuloy na. Tuloy-tuloy na yung thoughts, and then ayan, nag-doubt ka na, diba? And it's all because it started with comparing ourselves, comparing our lives to the highlight reels of other people that we see on social media. Now, another thing that can cause self-doubt is, of course, new challenges. Medyo given naman na siya kasi normal to, di ba? When you are about to face something new, or you are facing something new and you don't have previous experience to bank on, wala kang pinanghahawakan na record sa utak mo, then it's really natural to react na medyo, oops, I'm worried about this. I'm not sure I can handle it. And that feeling of uncertainty causes us sometimes two ways: to be insecure, if it's an unhealthy self-doubt, or to be challenged and raring to try naman if it's healthy self-doubt. But again, the whole idea with this one is because we don't have basis for what could possibly happen in the future, then we tend to doubt ourselves if we are able and capable. So that's when new challenges come in. And last but not the least, at least in my examples, would be fear of failure. And this is also very common because no one wants to fail, diba? All of us, we want to succeed. We want to achieve great things in life. We dream of great things. No one wakes up one day and say that, "Oh, today I want to fail." Of course. And that's why, when this fear of failure seeps into our mind, especially if going back to number four, there's a new challenge, a new task that can be a bit daunting. Um, we tend to doubt our capabilities and we lose confidence. And because of this uncertainty, our minds get clouded again, and it becomes easier for us to focus on the negative instead of a positive. And that's when self doubt becomes more apparent. It becomes more, you become more enmeshed in the self doubt in your mind. And now you're operating on this self doubt. And that's what we want to conquer, right? That's what we want to get rid of. And the first thing with that is that we have to understand that the biggest wall we have to climb is the one we build in our minds. It starts with the minds, of course. This is the biggest wall. Once we're able to climb that, then we've already scaled a big chunk of conquering and overcoming our self-doubt. So what can we do? How can we conquer our self-doubt? And I'm going to share with you 5 ways that we can do that. And so let's start with first is we have to embrace our self-doubts. There's a popular saying that says, what we resist persists. Ba? Meaning, ano yung dinadeny natin, nandyan lang din siya. And it's actually a fundamental thing with our brains that if you treat something like a threat, or the more that you try to avoid something, of course, the brain will think that it's a threat. And because the brain thinks that it's a threat, the more that it will be constantly on the lookout for that, which it becomes stressful for us, and it will pump our fight or flight inducing response. So each time we encounter it. So kaya ang nangyayari, if we have the habit of trying to run away from our self-doubt or trying to associate self-doubt with something that is negative, then the more that our brains will tell us na, okay, this is something bad, this is a threat, and you'll try to cope with it by resisting it. So the next time it comes back to you, it's actually a stronger emotion that you have to deal with. And that's why it's very important for us to not just run away from the self-doubts and not to immediately eliminate it na parang sinasabi mo sa sarili mo na, ay, hindi to okay, bawal mag-self-doubt, diba? What we can do is first embrace it. Embrace it fully. Acknowledge that you are experiencing, you're currently, feeling all these self-doubts. And as you acknowledge that, you do not become afraid of it. It's just a fact that you have self-doubts. It's like stating na, uy, maganda ako ngayon. O, diba? Pwede mo lang din sabihin na, uy, may self-doubt ako today. Diba? Equal sila. But in other words, when we embrace the self-doubt that we have, it means that we acknowledge it and that we are willing to work on it. And then that's when we start to refocus our energy and attention on how we can deal with the current self-doubt that we are experiencing. And as you do this, as you embrace the doubts that come to your mind, embrace in the sense that you acknowledge that they exist. Hindi ko sinasabi na embrace na, uy, I love my self-doubt. No, acknowledge that it is happening to you. Then you're slowly training your brain to not be so reactive to the self-doubt. And that will make it easier for you to move past it. That will make it easier for you to be objective in dealing with the self-doubt. So that's one. Now, the second thing is, after you've embraced it, eto na, you doubt your doubts. Doubt your doubts. And when you really think about it, self-doubt is not really a personality trait. It's more of a mental habit that we have acquired through the years, through our experiences, diba? To our upbringing, as what we've mentioned earlier. And that's why it's something that we can address because it's a mental habit. And diba, when we face these doubts, we have to understand that it is actually a thought pattern that we've unintentionally reinforced in our lives and become a habit. And because it's a habit, it can be undone. It can be removed. It can be replaced, so to speak. And that's why when we come face to face with our self doubts, as we embrace that they exist, then the next thing that we can do is to have a healthy skepticism of these doubts that we have. Kaya nga, doubt your doubts. Diba? Because these are thoughts that comes to your mind. And just because you think it doesn't mean that it's true of you. You have to give it a healthy skepticism na you're questioning if it's true in your mind, diba? Question your thoughts. The self-doubts that enter your mind, question it. Ask yourself, is it really true? Find, experiences or examples to back it up if it's true. Because usually if you can find anything to back it up, then it's not. It's not true of you. It's just a fleeting thought that came to your mind. And as you continue to question your own thoughts, question your self-doubt, then you you acknowledge it, you question it, then you get to a point wherein you get rid it of its power over you, because you just now have this deeper understanding that these are just thoughts. These are just thoughts that you have. These are not necessarily the truth or the fact, and it can be replaced. These thoughts can be replaced. So as you embrace those doubts and you have a healthy skepticism over them because you doubt them, you question their reality, you question their truthfulness in your life, then the next thing you can do is to practice self-compassion. And this is very important because for many of us whose default is usually self-doubt, the tendency for us is to forget what or how we can respond to a difficult situation. And because we tend to forget how we respond to that, it becomes easier for us to doubt ourselves. Kasi parang feeling natin, wala naman akong nagawang tama dun sa dating mga nangyari. Kasi nga, habit mo na i-doubt ang sarili mo. That's why, instead of just doubting yourself, you have to find a specific alternative for that doubt. And how do you replace self-doubt? You practice self-compassion. Diba? Instead of beating yourself up for doubting yourself, instead of thinking na, hindi ko naman to kaya yung dati kasi, ganito yung nangyari, and ito yung response, nagkamali ako tapos di sila natuwa, di ba? You treat yourself with kindness and understanding. Be compassionate to yourself. You don't pile up the berating words, the harsh words to yourself. But instead, you treat yourself like you would a friend who would come to you with the same concern. Treat yourself that way. That instead of doubting yourself, you encourage. Instead of questions, you just accept things as how they are and move on from there. And not only will it be comforting and a boost of morale for you when you practice self-compassion, it would also benefit your overall mental and emotional health because it lessens the stress that you feel. And in this world where usually we are the harshest critics of ourselves, then let us be kind to ourselves. That is the antidote to that self-doubt. Because no one is perfect, you're not going to get it the first time. So be compassionate and be kind to yourself. And that will give you a sense of balance in how you manage and understand the self-doubt that comes to your mind. And also, it's important that as you do this to yourself, you also surround yourself with people who will support you. That's why for tip number 4, you have to spend time with supportive people. And may mga times kasi that we've already tried our best to be compassionate and kind to ourselves, but meron pa ring doubts that linger, that remain. And it's really hard for us to get them under control anymore. I mean, that happens. So that's when it's very important for us to involve our support system. Diba? Whether they are family or friends, or family and friends, they can really help us in dealing with our self-doubts. And usually kasi, diba, the family and friends in our lives, they're the ones who believe, believe in us. And sila yung nakakakita sa atin overall sa labas. And there may be times wherein we're not seeing, we're not seeing things objectively. And when they come in, they'll be able to give us a new perspective of how to see the situation, of things that we don't see about ourselves, but we're seeing it. And that's why it's very important when we're feeling self-doubt, when we're feeling that we can't do it anymore. Our friends or family, they are the ones who can remind us of how talented we are, of how resilient we are, how strong, and how skilled and loving and compassionate we are. And when we hear that, diba, when we spend time with supportive people like that, sometimes all you need to hear is a friend telling you, "Uy, kaya mo yan." Uy, dati nga nalampasan mo eh, di ba? Minsan ganun lang eh. You don't even, for some, they don't even need to process the situation. They just heard that from their friends or family. They're already okay. Self-doubt is already gone. Di ba? May mga ganong sitwasyon. And that's why let us not underestimate the support system that we have. And let us continue to spend time with them, especially when we are, feeling overwhelmed by our own thoughts. Sabi nga nila, di ba, do not isolate. Because when you isolate, that's when all these bad thoughts come in. Spend time with supportive people. Make sure that you are in the right ecology or habitat, that there will be people who will support you, especially when all these thoughts come in. And last but not least, you have to cultivate your sense of purpose. And this is very important because many times there are a lot of people who have struggled for a long time with self-doubt and negative self-talk kasi they became so consumed with avoiding the negative outcome in their mind, diba? The negative feelings, negative thoughts, and they haven't really taken the time to cultivate what are the positives, the opposite of these negative thoughts. And that's why it is very important for us to cultivate a strong sense of values and purpose, personal purpose, because when we have this strong set of values and purpose, then regardless of the situation in front of us, regardless of the challenges, regardless of what negative thoughts come to our mind and what we perceive of ourselves, because our purpose and values is stronger than these thoughts, then we are able to move forward. We're able to get out of that self doubt that we have. And it's really more of when you have that sense of purpose and values, you're really out competing the self doubt that's in your mind. And it it's not, you know it can be, it can really be as simple as considering what's most important to you at the moment. Diba? Hindi naman yung kailangan na meron kang parang, uy, life-changing na, wow, light bulb moment na ito yung purpose ko. I mean, that will be good. But sometimes, it's as simple as asking yourself, what really matters to you at the moment? What is your priority at the moment? Like, for example, there are women, who have become mothers. They have their own dreams for their careers, for themselves, but for the moment, for the season that they are nurturing a child, probably, siguro, the most important would be, syempre, yung parenting the child. Then, regardless of the doubts that kaya mo ba to, kaya ko ba maging nanay, di ba? Parang, you go through it because someone relies on you. There's someone that you need to nurture. That is the sense of purpose that you have, di ba? So ask yourself that. What do you really want? And what do you believe in? Diba? Usually when you ask these questions, just getting to a point where you simply clarify these values is already enough for you to have that strong sense of purpose that can outcompete any doubt and self-doubt that you may have in your mind and negative thoughts and thinking that you may have. So cultivate your sense of purpose. Ask yourself, what is truly important to you? What are what are the things that you would do anything to do and sacrifice a lot of things for? Then as you understand that, then regardless of the doubts that enter your minds, you would be willing to pursue it because it's that valuable. It's that important and essential for your life. And um, I like what Hanok McCarthy, he's an American motivational speaker, shared. he said that truly it's not who you are that holds you back. It's who you think you are not. You know, all these things that we have in our minds. We have been, we are talented. We have been blessed and gifted with a lot of things. But there are so many things that, we have been blessed with a good support system. And usually, when we focus too much on who we think we're not, that's when we get stuck. But when we focus on the things that we can be grateful for, the treasures that we have been blessed with, the purpose that has been given to our lives, then nothing will hold you back. You'll overcome it. You'll find ways to overcome it. And that's really, truly how you can conquer the self doubt in your mind. Knowing who you are and letting go of who you think you are not. Then you're able to conquer that. And regardless of where those self doubts came from, you you have to believe and know that you can free yourself from this chronic negative thinking of not being capable, not being good enough or talented enough. You can simply, well, not simply, but you can cultivate building better habits and renewing your mindset, because it all starts in the mind. And I encourage you that, if you've stuck with me through the past half hour and, what I said makes sense to you, I encourage you to choose one or two, even just one, of these 5 things that I shared, and try them out for a week or two, and you'll see. Like, I think you'll find that while it may be difficult to get over that self doubt, you can really see that you are able to conquer it with your morale. And do something, you take the action, you don't allow the thoughts to swallow you up. You do something, take an action to overcome it, to conquer it. Then you'd realize that it's actually doable, that it's not an endless cycle of you being stuck in that position, but that you can really overcome, and you can have that confidence that you need to do what you want to do the purpose that has been given to you. And also, if you feel that, you are ready to go deeper in conquering those self doubts, and you want to transform your life and your thought patterns, then I would also like to invite you to come and join my Courageous Living by Design coaching program. This is a 6-week journey where we will look at practical strategies to help you become more resilient and cope better with the challenges that you are facing right now, or you perceive you will be facing. And this will also help you develop a positive outlook in dealing with things in your life. It's really helping you to live your life by design the courageous way. And the sessions will be done online via Zoom. So it can be hard. You're probably thinking, it's hard, parang di ko yata talaga kaya eh. But yes, it can be hard to try to change things on your own. Yes, we've tried that. Ako personally, it's hard to do it on your own. But when you have someone to encourage you and support you, like a coach, things can be different and better, and you'll see. So, no, change may not happen overnight, but you can make the decision now to take a step and move forward from where you are to where you want to be. So do send me a message after this talk, and I'm really excited to have you on board. So with that, I'd also like to invite you with the things that we are doing as a movement of professional certified life coaches. If you are not yet a smart holder of the B-Learning e-card, then I would also like to invite you to register now. This is the time to take action. Connect with Coach Rizel after this talk, and join the B Learning Society. because the perks, really, it's more than the 5% food and beverage discount from D Cup. But for me personally, the thing with this is that you get a full pass for the monthly mental model masterclass by Master Coach A, happening every third Saturday. So different, every month, Master Coach A discusses different mental models that are really applicable to how we view the world around us, with how we make decisions. So it has been very helpful. And aside from that, you will also get a 90-minute free coaching session from the senior coaching team of Life Coach Philippines. So for that, for this B-Learning e-card, actually the next monthly mental model class is on September 18 at 7 p.m. And Master Coach A will be discussing about the multiplier skills mental model mastery. So don't miss that. Connect with Coach Rizal. And also for individuals who intend to embark on a journey of becoming a certified life coach, Master Coach A now offers the co-actively co-create life coach certification program. And this is a comprehensive approach to learning and mastering life coaching. And what is inclusive of this is a 21 days web-based learning, a 3-day live coaching bootcamp with Master Coach A, and a 3-day live business bootcamp with senior coaching team. So aside from that, there are also extra bonuses that comes with the package. So please contact Coach Rizal through 0917-586-1661 so you can discover the opportunities waiting for you in this profession of life coaching. And with that, I'd also like to invite you to join us again for another coaching conversation at 4 p.m. with Coach Tin for Coaching for Relationship. Once again, this is Coach Maan from Life Coach Philippines for Coaching Think Talk. Coaches like us think and talk like this. This is us from the Philippines. Love, Bam Boom. Thank you and bye.